Feel like helping a fella out? Like seriously, you feel like helping me out? I have a question that I just can't find the answer to, and if you know anything about sneakers out there, you might be able to answer that question for me, specifically about Adidas Yeezy 700, because that's what we're focusing in on today, is the Adidas Yeezy 700. There have been 700s dropping all over the place, V1s and V2s, and today's video that I'll be bringing you to is about a V1. There's even talk of V3s out there as well, but there's just stuff that I don't know and I can't find the answer to, so somebody out there must be able to help me. So stick around and I'll very quickly be asking you a question about Adidas Yeezy 700 V1s and V2s. But also at the end of this video I'll be bringing you an update from the butter movement, which I do always do at the end of my videos rather than at the start, so they don't get in the way of the shoe. So without further ado, let's get into today's sneaker, which is the Adidas Yeezy 700 V1 Teal Blue. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel des.毎日アップするので、毎日見てください. And every single day, I bring you content from Tokyo, Japan about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today that's no different as we look forward to the upcoming release of the Adidas Yeezy 700 V1 Teal Blue, and I exaggeratedly say Teal Blue because a couple of weeks ago I dropped a video about Adidas Yeezy 700 V1 Blue Teal, and that's where my question comes in that you can help me with today is, are they two different shoes? The blue teals that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago were drastically different from this sneaker that we're looking at today, whereas this sneaker is all about kind of plain and simplified tones with just different shades of grey throughout the sneaker. The blue teals were much more stark, and it was almost like a Wave Runner but in a different colorway, so you had a lot of colors in contrast, and I think they even had orange at that midfoot point, where the Wave Runners also had it. So my question is, are they two different shoes? Is there a blue teal going to drop and a teal blue? Or is that blue teal that I reviewed actually going to come out by another name? Or was that just somebody's mock-up that they were just hanging around and playing with on Photoshop? And then what is actually going to drop is these teal blues. So if you know anything about Yeezy 700s, if you know whether or not the teal blues or the blue teals or both are going to drop, or neither, or one, or whatever, let me know in the comments down below, because I can't find out. I'm fairly confident that today's sneaker, the teal blue, is definitely going to drop because I think there's been official images from Adidas already, and that's usually a pretty good sign, but I don't know about those blue teals, so let me know in the comments down below. And as this is a YouTube channel, and as it is growing mighty fast, and I'm grateful to all of you people out there who have already subscribed, but if you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit that subscribe button down below. We're kind of going places right now, and I'm not sure where this is going to go, and I'm not sure where it's going to end, but I know for sure I'm going to enjoy the ride. So if you could hit the subscribe button down below and enjoy the ride with me, that would be great. And as I am here in Tokyo, Japan, I do say at the start of all my videos in Japanese, Toroku yoroshiku onegaishimasu. チャンネルがどんどん大きくなっている最近ね、登録すると助かるので、ぜひ登録よろしくお願いします。Okay, so getting into these sneakers, let's have a look at the makeup of this guy. Now, I was very disappointed to see these pictures because the blue teal that I reviewed to me was a departure from where we'd been with 700s for the last like 8 months. In fact, the Wave Runner was one of the few 700s that had contrasting colors on it, and then in the ensuing months, like the Geode, the Tefras, the Inertias, the Hospital Blues, the Salts, there's just so many very simple 700s that came out that were just one color with a variation, and what that variation came from was the different materials, the mesh, the leather, and the suede on the upper, and so you'd have like ostensibly you'd have a grey sneaker, but because it was made of 3 different materials, it looked like 3 different shades of grey. The Wave Runners weren't like that because they had lots of different colors on them, and the blue teals that I reviewed last week were very much an echo of the Wave Runners in that they had all these different colors going on in them there, and I was excited by that. I thought that was a good thing that we'd gone back to some contrasting colors with the 700s, but then these pictures dropped and we're back to exactly what I didn't really like about the blandness. I sort of call it bland. It's like bland coloring on the 700s. And that's most evident if you look around the toe box area, and you can see that big splash of suede that kind of points back from the toe box area. To me, that looks really out of place. Even though it is just a subtle shade different from the other greys in the upper, it still looks sort of added on, or almost like an afterthought on there. It doesn't really match the rest of the shoe in a way, and I don't really like that there much, to be honest. And if we go back from that, one of the few unique features on this shoe is that the eye stays around the lacing system there are actually made from leather. That's quite rare because usually Yeezy 700s are made from I think it's suede that usually comes in around the lacing system and on the lace stays, or the eye stays around there. So having that done in leather is actually a unique feature on these guys, and it's kind of cool to see. But then if we go back a little bit further from there, a place where there's an option for a little bit of creativity, which they haven't gone for here, is on that sort of heel. It's halfway between the heel and the midfoot, where there's two sort of bubble spaces on the upper, and then two sort of sleek elongated bubble spaces on the midsole, both of which are in a sort of silver grey colour, and that's the kind of place where you can do with a bit of colour on a Yeezy 700 to sort of give it a bit of contrast and to take it in a different direction than it was going. And then if we go down below to look at the outsole in a very light gum sole colour, and I'm not too fussed by this outsole. It's not a particularly popping outsole or anything like that, but it does go well with this sneaker, and it does add the right colour. I think a full-on gum sole down there would have been too orange or brown, but having it in this sort of light colour definitely helps out. It definitely gives it the right sort of finish on the bottom half of the sneaker. What's interesting about the outsole on 700s, if later this week what I'll be doing is I'll be looking at a video that I'm going to call the Adidas Yeezy 380, as opposed to the 350 V3. I previously reviewed a sneaker that I thought was going to be the Adidas Yeezy 350 V3, but then they've gone and changed the name of it, and I'll talk about that in that video later this week. The 380s, they're calling them. And the 380s have a pretty unique outsole on there that seems to be a sort of evolution of the 700s outsole. So it'll be interesting to see where the tie-up between the 700s and the 380s go, especially in terms of that outsole there. Midsole, though, is totally a different thing. And then speaking of V123s, there was talk, when I was sort of researching this shoe, it did say that there's talk of V3s coming out, 700 V3s, but I'd be surprised if they did come out with 700 V3s any time before. I'm going to go with spring. I don't think you'll see them throughout winter or the start of the spring. I think it'll be April or sometime like that before an Yeezy 700 V3 drops. I think it's a bit too soon for them to be thinking about putting a V3 out there when the V3s have only dropped fairly recently. And that's enough for me today about these teal blues. Thank you if you did drop a comment down below to tell me what the difference between the blue teal and the teal blues is, and if those blue teals that I talked about are actually going to drop or not. That'll be interesting to see. And maybe you already know and have told me in the comments down below. But enough about the sneaker, time to talk about the bar movement. As I do at the end of every single one of my videos, I like to bring you an update about the bar movement, especially given that tomorrow we should have a video from Shoe Butter and the Shoe Partment. I hope at the time of shooting this, I don't have the video in hand, as it were, yet. I'm not sure if he's going to just upload directly to my YouTube channel or if he's going to send me the stuff digitally. We prefer to use Google Drive to do that. So he might send it to me digitally through Google Drive, but I don't have it yet, and that worries me. So it's hard for me to say to you guys out there, definitely on Thursday we're going to have the latest installment from the Shoe Partment. So that's what's planned. If it doesn't come to pass, then there's going to be a pretty strange video tomorrow because I haven't planned what I'm going to do with that. And as I work full time and as I have a young family and I'm trying to do this daily content and all that kind of stuff, it's hard for me to be spontaneous and sort of off the cuff do something. Maybe I'll go live. Maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll go live if the Shoe Butter video doesn't work out. I haven't gone live for a while, so that could be something to work on. But anyway, for now it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out my content. I appreciate it very much. Watch time is very important to me these days, so if you've watched the entirety of the video, I appreciate it very much. Getting that watch time up there is as important as getting subscribers. So if you've done both of those things, thank you very much for helping the channel tremendously. But for now, it's time for me to sign off and thank you guys for checking out my content. And as I do this every single day, at the end of my videos, I get to really confidently look in the lens of the camera, point my finger in and say to you guys, you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.